Hello everybody and welcome back to round 6 of the F1 2022 World Cup. My name is Chris, otherwise known as CFRacing. I'm going to be going through the driver and constructor standings before we head into round 6 in Silverstone. So currently in the lead of the World Cup is Charles Leclerc in the lead with 47 points, followed by George Russell in P2 with 42, followed by Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, Zhou Guanyu, who is surprisingly doing very well for Team Switzerland, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris, and Daniel Ricciardo are tied for 7th, Lewis Hamilton is in 9th, and Sergio Perez is in 10th. From 11 to 22, we have Liam Lawson, Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz, Mick Schumacher, and yet to score we have Alexander Albon, Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, and Nicholas Latifi. Your World Cup team standings after round 5 in Monza look like this. In the lead, we have Germany with 70.5 points, with the Netherlands in P2 with 68.5. P3 is Canada with 64, followed by Great Britain with 60. After that, we have Italy, Japan, Switzerland, Australia, and France are tied for 8th with 26 points. US in P10 with 1 point, and in dead last, we have Thailand with 0. Now, guys, we have another commentator for this race. This is JT Chamberlain. He's going to be doing the entire commentary for the whole weekend. So that being said, give him a round of applause and take it away, JT.
Hello and welcome to the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. The grandstands are packed, the cars have made their way to the grid, and we're minutes away from lights out. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness, and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
As now we take a look at our starting grid for round 6 of our World Cup. Max Verstappen on the pole, Lewis Hamilton following him in 2nd. 3rd, Charles Leclerc, as I mentioned. He's in 3rd, Lando Norris 4th, Carlos Sainz 5th, Sergio Perez 6th. Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher and George Russell round out the top 10. Valtteri Bottas and Alex Albon, Zhou Guanyu and Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, Nicholas Latifi and Kevin Magnussen, and Oscar Piastri and Liam Lawson round out the field for today's race. As now we are at the grid, the lights are turning on and they are off. Round 6 of the F1 World Cup is underway. Lewis Hamilton gets a great jump to start as he takes the lead over Verstappen. Charles Leclerc right there. Leclerc, as I mentioned, he's been one of the most consistent guys so far in this World Cup, and that's why he comes into today the points leader. As they take the first of the right-hand turns. They have a little bit of a mini straight that they're going on right now. Leclerc, he's right by Verstappen and Hamilton if something happens as they go into Copse for the first time today. As we're on board Max Verstappen. Couple car lengths behind Lewis Hamilton. Go right into the right-hander after Copse. And right now, it's kind of starting to spread out a little bit throughout the field. Nothing too crazy happening yet, but that's certainly going to change throughout the race. On board with Lewis Hamilton now. Right now, nothing but clean air for him, but Verstappen is not far behind. Neither is Charles Leclerc or Sergio Perez. Both of them are right there if something were to happen to the top two. Carlos Sainz in 5th. Lando Norris already down to 6th. Pierre Gasly, he's keeping his position. Fernando Alonso staying in the points for now. Same with George Russell. Mick Schumacher, he needs to get points for the U.S. today. The U.S. is near the bottom of the standings, got to be coming into today near last. Now, quick onboard, that was Lance Stroll, now Sebastian Vettel. Vettel right now not in the points, but comes into today 4th in the standings. Now, both Australian cars are near the back of the grid, with Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. Now on lap 5, Hamilton still leading. Verstappen still close. He can make a move anytime he wants. He's not that far behind. He could possibly use the DRS because they're right by the DRS zone. As now, I believe Verstappen does have DRS. Is he going to make a move? No, he will not. Not just yet. As now they head into Copse. And Verstappen, I wouldn't be surprised if Verstappen gets a better run here within the next lap or two. He possibly makes his move on Hamilton. As now on board, Max Verstappen, he is gaining real quick on Lewis Hamilton. The gap down to just a couple car lengths. He hasn't been that far behind Hamilton this whole race. And now he has DRS. He's gonna try to use the outside. Will it stick? Hamilton, Verstappen goes off a little bit, but Verstappen will have Hamilton cleared. Verstappen now takes the lead on lap 5 from Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen has won the last 2 races, comes into today 2nd in the standings. He's right now on board, that is Lando Norris. Norris, he's making a move on Carlos Sainz. And it will work coming into the final corners. As Mick Schumacher has an issue as he spins out. No one hits him. And it's just a yellow flag temporarily in Sector 3. Now to lap 8. Hamilton, he is on Verstappen right now. As they head into Copse. The pit window's opening in the next few laps. So there's a chance that in the next 2-3 laps, both of these drivers are pitting. On board Hamilton. He's within the slipstream. Has a chance maybe if he has DRS. And he will have DRS. The rear wing is open. Will he go around on the inside? Will it stick? No, it will not. But Verstappen will come in for his pit stop this lap. So Max Verstappen, being one of the first guys to enter pit road here on lap 8. For the Dutch team, they're hoping a quick pit stop, and this will be a quick pit stop, plus a rear wing change. Possibly some damage from contact with Hamilton. As we take a quick look, there might have been some contact, and there was. They touched wheels in that last corner. And now lap 14, Charles Leclerc, he's doing well for himself so far. But the thing I've been mentioning about him being consistent this whole World Cup, yeah, that unfortunately just went up in smoke. Leclerc, unfortunately, a victim of engine failure and will have to retire from this race on lap 14. So the commentator Jinx has got Charles Leclerc. You hate to see it for Leclerc coming into today, the points leader. And if Verstappen maintains the runs that he's on, he's going to exit today with the points lead. As now it's up to Carlos Sainz. Sainz, he needs a good run. He comes into today 16th in points. As now Norris and Sainz go into pit road side by side. Pierre Gasly right behind them. Almost 3 wide coming onto pit road. You don't see that every time at Silverstone. Lando hoping for a quick stop, and a quick pit stop it will. But who will be the first one out of the 3 out? And it will be Norris. Now lap 26. Hamilton making his pit stop from the lead. Second stop of the day for him. Hamilton, he's trying to get within the top 5. Yeah, he's won 2 races, but he only has 29 points entering today. He wants to be within striking range the last 3 races. From where he's at right now, he's not within that fight for the championship. As now on board, that is Sergio Perez. Perez, though, is not leading at the moment. Carlos Sainz not far behind him. Lando Norris also not that far behind Sainz. Plus also the pit stop with Pierre Gasly, so he's close right behind those 4. And right now we have a train of 5, possibly 6 cars. Plus George Russell. Also, that was Verstappen's on board the first time, correction. And right now we just take a quick look throughout the field. Sebastian Vettel doesn't have the best run going for him at the moment. Neither does Esteban Ocon. He's battling one of the Australian cars near the back of the field at the moment. Ocon has not had the best World Cup so far coming into today. Though he's ahead of Fernando Alonso in the standings. Though seeing how Alonso's doing right now compared to him, he's certainly gonna be moving down a little bit in the standings today. Safe to say. Currently battling for, I believe that is 17th position with Oscar Piastri. This is not a good day for Ocon. Neither was it a good day, as I mentioned, for Charles Leclerc. At this point, being the only car out of the race, came into today as the points leader, will be losing that points lead. Because at the moment, Verstappen is in P2. And now lap 33, Lando looked like he wanted to make a move on Sainz. You know, there's plenty of good history with those two. But also Fernando Alonso, he's trying to make a move on Lando Norris. As now there's a chance, Perez, this could be 3 wide, possibly. Oh, that wouldn't work. Oh, and there's some contact with Perez and Lando Norris. Look out. That almost was a costly mistake for 3, maybe 4 drivers. That would have been terrible, because this is battle 4 points as well. This is a 5-6 car battle possibly for a possible podium. As now on board with George Russell. Russell, he has maybe the best seat in the house when it comes to seeing all this happening in front of him. But at the same time, also the worst view, because he doesn't want to get involved in anything. He's currently 2nd in the standings coming into this race. Now Russell trying to make a move on the outside on Sergio Perez. That's not going to work. They are going to be side by side though, as we are closing in on 35 to go. A lap 35, correction, 15 to go in a few laps. And at the moment, it looks like this is going to be a crazy last 15 laps when it comes to that final podium spot. We know P1 and P2, from how everyone is going to be Hamilton and Verstappen taking up the first 2 spots of the podium. So the third spot, we don't know. There's 5, 6 cars right now in position to possibly get a podium. And there's 2 separate battles. At one point, there was 6 cars going for that position. There's now on board Lando Norris. Norris being stuck in this battle has really affected his day a little bit, as he started inside the top 5 currently. Still in the points, but not a great day for Lando Norris. Neither has it been a good day for Daniel Ricciardo, his teammate. I mean, Norris at least will move up a little bit in the standings, since Daniel Ricciardo not in the points right now. So Norris is going to move up to at least 7th in the standings. He currently has a gap of 2 points over Sergio Perez. Though also a chance in the last few laps as there's contact between, that was George Russell and Sergio Perez. So Russell's day of having a decent points finish ends with a few laps left. You hate to see that for him. Another pit stop with 3 to go. And that is it for Russell possibly getting points. Had a chance to at least be in the top 3. 4 points, but that is not gonna happen now, as now we head to 2 to go. And for the time being, Fernando Alonso holds 3rd position. As now, also, there's a little bit of battle happening near the back of the field. As now we go to an Australian car, and that's the Ben Ocon. Ocon has had a terrible day. He did not have any good practice sessions all week. Did not have a good qualifying either. And has had a disaster of a race today. Not being able to get into the points at all. And stuck near the back of the field. But now we take a quick look at that is Lewis Hamilton. As now we are on the last lap. Lap car of Yuki Tsunoda ahead of him, but no one is gonna get by him. Verstappen is multiple seconds behind and not even in Hamilton's rear view right now. And only a couple corners away as Hamilton comes in the cops for one last time. Yuki gonna be showing the blue flag most likely if Hamilton gets any closer to him. Because Yuki can see Hamilton in his rear view. Hamilton only a few corners left. No sign of Verstappen. But it also doesn't look like Yuki Tsunoda is going to play any effect in delaying for the 3rd time this F1 World Cup as we head in to the final few corners. Lewis Hamilton will get his 3rd win of the F1 World Cup, and he will be right in that championship fight now. As Verstappen, he's going to get P2, and he's going to take the championship lead from Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz gets a much-needed good day. He's going to round out the podium. Fernando Alonso 4th. Pierre Gasly 5th. He'll take 3rd in the championship. Norris, Perez, and then the last 2 cars for points is going to be Zhou Guanyu.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
At the end of round 6 of the World Cup in Silverstone, Max Verstappen is your new World Championship leader, taking with 49.5 points, with Charles Leclerc in P2 after his DNF, very unfortunate for him, with 47. Pierre Gasly's up to P3 with George Russell in P4 and Lewis Hamilton in P5. Sebastian Vettel is tied with Hamilton in P5 with 41 points, followed by Lando Norris, Zhou Guanyu, Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, and Liam Lawson. From 12 to 22, we have Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon, Alexander Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, Valtteri Bottas, Mick Schumacher, and yet to score, we have Kevin Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, and Nicholas Latifi. In the team standings, it is very close to the top, with the Netherlands with 83.5 points, half a point ahead of Germany in P2 with 83, followed by Great Britain, Canada, Italy, Japan, Switzerland, France, Australia, Thailand with 4 points, and USA in dead last with 1. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy and you want to see more World Cups like this, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and with that being said, everybody, see you guys next time. Goodbye.